Okay, good morning, everybody. It is Kayla Troutman, your executive director, calling in from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. And I'm really excited this morning because I'm actually going to be introducing one of our Rockstar teammates, Misty, who is really excited to lead this. She is probably actually pretty nervous. So everybody give her some kudos afterwards and celebrate her. It's hard to lead something with your peers when you don't feel like you're a pro at it. And none of us, Misty, I think you'd agree, are pros at making graphics. But we all need to get creative in order right now, especially to support our social media businesses, to support what we're doing. So I'm actually going to not talk on this call, and I'm just going to get it, hand it over to Misty, let her lead. But Misty, I'll be here. I'm just going to mute my line. So if you need anything, let me know. And if you guys have, again, background noise, can you mute your line, please? And if you want to ask a question, Misty will totally say, does anybody have a question? I know her, I know how she trains, and she'll give you a chance to ask. But if you can keep the recording nice and clean, that'll be super helpful for everybody else. So take it away, Misty, let's go.
All right, well, like Kayla said, I'm no pro, but I do enjoy making graphics. And so it's just something that when I need a break, I like to do. So I typically use Canva to create all of the graphics that I use. So if you're not familiar with Canva, you can do just a free interface, which is what I do. I don't pay for the pro version. I have not found a need to have to pay for it. So I like to just utilize the free tools, and then, yeah, just kind of go from there. And Canva offers a lot of cool templates and different things to make it pretty simple to navigate around their website. So
Misty, can I add one thing quick
Yep.
about the paying for it? I have
Yep.
Canva as well. It's where I've made my graphics for years. I only started paying for it recently, so I could put a logo on a couple things, and so I could use some different fonts. And I would tell you, for any of you, pretty much, you do not need to be paying for it. Some of the best graphics I see are way better than what I'm making with the paid version. It just gives you some extra resources. However, if you want to, you're going to get extra fonts, you're going to get extra backgrounds, and you won't have any of those weird pictures on accident. I'm sure, Misty, you've realized this, like, because you got better at it in time probably. Sometimes you'll see somebody share a graphic and it has the word Canva like lightly in color on the background. You should be replacing that photo. That's a template that you didn't pay for, and so that's why Canva's on there. It's free advertising for them. But if you take that off, or you try to use that photo, you have to pay. So just make sure, and Missy, you're maybe going to cover this, but pick photos that don't have that on there because it just looks tacky. If you pay, it removes it itself. But again, I don't think you need to pay. I just want to give you guys both views. I do pay. My account is basically the same as your guys's. I just don't get those weird Canva backgrounds on.
All right, so yeah, if you're not familiar with Canva, you just go to canva.com, you create, like I said, I just use the free site because it does everything that I need it to do. Sometimes I contemplate paying to get a different font, but I haven't. It's not worth it to me. So when you get to Canva, this is just their main page, and here you're going to just see a variety of different things that you're going to just kind of scroll through depending on what you want to create. So whether you want to create a recipe card or you want to create like a banner for your recipe group club to make it more personalized to you. I have no idea what's happening. Some very loud crash just happened in my house, sorry. But over here on the left side is going to be kind of the nuts and bolts of what you're going to see in Canva. Here you're going to find all your important options. So if you just want to look at templates that Canva offers, you can click on that, and you can browse or you can search different things. Where I pretty much go all the time is to my designs, and this is really handy once you kind of get into Canva and you start creating stuff. I very rarely start from scratch anymore. I usually always just use a template that I've already created to create what I want to make, because it just saves so many steps in the process. So if you get something that you like the look of, then, like I said, I just modify that template that I already have. And then with the other thing with the free version is make sure when you are picking a template, if you pick one of Canva's templates. With the free version, you don't have the option to resize it, so make sure that you pick the right size from the get-go, otherwise you'll have to start over if it's not the right size. And then the other thing, a lot of times I hear questions and people asking in various groups, like what colors to use. So I just kind of created a template for myself, because these are what I like to use. And so a lot of times when I'm doing something, I'll just put this image that's in what I'm working on. So then I have, this is the hex code that I most often use. And this is just a color match that I did to, I think it was the steamer. And then I usually always use a script font and then just a basic font. So this is what I typically use when I'm creating a graphic. So if you guys want to jot down the code or whatever, you sure can.
What you got, Mama's trash?
All right, so what, Kayla, can we mute everybody, or how does that work?
Yep, I just did. Sorry, like I
Okay.
said, I'm sitting. It just took me a second to navigate my screen because I was looking at an address. So yep, you're good.
Okay, so then I guess the next thing is just figuring out what we want to design. So today, just for the ease of, it's what I probably design the most, is just recipes. So that's what we'll do today, and we're just going to go off of a template that Canva already provides to us. So what I like to do is you can just click right in here and just start typing for recipe. And so we're going to just pick the recipe card. And then once you get into here, basically what I do is I just go through and I pick something that is visually appealing to me. I don't really care what they're giving me a recipe for, but I just pick something that I like the look of, because every single thing can be modified. So I'm just gonna pick chocolate chip cookies because it's simple, and it's not too terribly busy. So we're just gonna click on that. And then once you click on an image, then you're gonna see over on the left side, the menu bar is gonna change a little bit, and that's where we're gonna modify everything within our recipe. So now, usually the next thing that I do is I figure out what I wanna create a recipe of. So then I just usually go to, I typically have a general idea of what I wanna make a recipe for before I get to Canva, but then I'll just go to the Epicure website and find the recipe. And we're gonna do a recipe for some of our new products. So let's do like potato salad. So we're just gonna create a recipe and use all of the information that Epicure already provides to us. So one of the things that I like to do just like right at the beginning is I'll get everything that I need. I like to use the snipping tool. If you guys aren't familiar with that, if you go to your main menu and you just start typing snip, that's a good way to be able to capture images that Epicure has already provided to us. And it allows you to create a lot more original content versus just using, other things that are already out there. So it makes it easy to customize. So I'm just going to grab this whole picture. And this image is big enough where I'm just going to use the borders that are already on the image. If it's something like maybe just a product, I like to, and I'll show you guys when we get to it, but I like to grab as much extra space around the image as I can. I'm sure you guys have seen images out there that people have made on Canva where the pictures are really blurry, or you can't maybe read the writing on like the Epicure product. And that's just because when you capture the initial image, you just don't have enough white space on the back of it. So then when you put it into Canva, it blows it up more, and then it distorts the image. So we're just going to do a save as. And then I'm just going to exit out of here. And then on all of our Epicure recipes, when you scroll to the very bottom, it's going to tell you shop this recipe. And those are the items that we're going to use. So this is where I was telling you to grab, when you snip, to grab as much white space as you can around the product to prevent the distortion of the image. So.
Misty, can I ask a question while you're doing that?
Yeah.
I don't actually know this answer, and I bet you there's other people on here that don't know. You, a couple of minutes ago, said, and I was going to wait till the end, but I don't know, again, how this will time out with Macaulay. You said something about make sure it's the right size or it won't fit, or you have to like start over. What does that mean?
So when you're choosing a template, one of Canva's like pre-made templates. So you know how when, hold on, I apparently can't multitask. So when we're in here looking at these templates, say I pick this chocolate chip cookie, then the size of it is, you know, whatever, and maybe it doesn't fit, because you know how with, when you're looking at the templates, you can say if you want social media, which is more of a smaller square template. If you want a flyer, it's longer. So if you pick a template that, you know, like the recipe cards are bigger, they're not square, so they won't fit on certain things within social media. To be able to see it all in one shot without clicking on it and scrolling. So that's where, like, if I were to make a recipe card out of, say, a flyer, and then if I wanted to print it and put it in, like, with my Hostess pack or something like that, it might not print the way you want it to print. So it'll, like this one here, a flyer is going to print 8.5 by 11, whereas social media is a lot smaller.
Got it. Super helpful. Thank you.
All right. So then we're going to go back to our template that we chose to do our recipe. And this is where I was showing you guys with that initial template I made with the colors. When I go to my uploads, that's one of the, you can just drag that in if you wanted to, so that you can always see your hex code and your font that you like to use. I just have it there so then at a quick glance I can see it. So then the next thing I'm going to do for my recipe is those images that I just grabbed off of the Epicure website, I want to upload those into Canva. So on your left-hand menu bar here, you're just going to go to your uploads and click upload image or video. And see what I can. So we're going to upload potato salad and, oops, wrong button. And you can do, just like on any program, you can do by hitting the control button, you can pick multiple images at a time to upload. So we'll go ahead and just upload those images that we know we want to use for this recipe. And then obviously just looking at this, it's more, it's not the colors that we want to look at for Epicure. So I just choose, because we, like I said before, when you pick the template, as long as it's visually appealing to you, you can modify anything that's in it, whether it's the font, the color, if you want to add pictures, whatever you want to do. So I'm going to just delete the chocolate chip cookies. And by doing that, it just literally deletes on the keyboard.
Oh, I'm trying to paint with like that paint stuff here. I was in the cupboard and it's not working when I
I'll be there in a little bit. Okay, I'll be there in a little bit.
Okay.
Sorry. All right, so we're just going to delete the chocolate chip cookies, and then over here on our uploads, we're just going to drag over our potato salad picture. And in here, you just move it around wherever you want it, and you'll see the purple lines that show up, and that's just going to show you where it's centered in proximity to the rest of the stuff on the image. So we're just going to drop that in there. And then oh my gosh, my dogs are let in. So then in here, we're just going to start modifying everything. So in here, you can change the font that they already put on there. Maybe you want to write like each or click one of twice. Okay, sorry. Layla, put it down outside. Put it down outside. Okay. Layla, ow. Piper, ow. Oh my gosh, this is terrible.
Hey, Misty, the best part of being in our team is you never, ever, ever have to apologize for kids. And by the way, your dog is super cute. But I want everyone to know, this is why we do them on Saturdays so more people can participate, but it means our families are here. And right now our families are here 24/7. So Misty, do not let that, you're doing a great job.
Oh, the chaos. My oldest daughter was supposed to be here to help manage the chaos while I did this, but she's not here, so. Anyway, so we're just gonna, under here, we can do, we're just gonna say like what this recipe is. So I'm gonna say it's creamy potato salad. And then, like I said, I like to use the script for my title, and the one I typically use is called Lemon Tuesday. So then you'll see when you're in Canva, the ones that you use the most often, when you open up the font, it's going to give you all of your recently used stuff. So we're just going to change that, and then we want to make the background purple. So when we click on our background, you'll see up here where you're going to get your options to modify that. One of the things with the paid version is you can put brand colors in, and that's kind of a shortcut. But if you know your hex code, it's super simple to just get the same consistent color every time, and then it's going to save them within those document colors anyway. So, so here I know that my hex code, and you'll just type that right up here. And we're going to use, and then it's just going to pull up that purple from your search, and then it's just going to change there. So now when I go down here, because I want to change this one to match as well, when I click that color, it's going to be a document color. So now I just have the ability to just click on it. And then here, we'll just go back to our font. We want to make that bigger. You can either, you can drag this to make it bigger, or you can just use your font up here to make it. And a lot of it for me, I'm now pro, like I said, it's a lot of trial and error. I just do things and hope it looks pretty when they're done. So then we're going to take, so we're going to look for that solid line down the middle. That's going to tell us that it's centered to the page. One of the other things you may notice when you're doing graphics, so say you added something in after maybe you deleted something, and maybe it's covering up something that you don't want covered up. So if you go over here to where it says position, you can move the images forward and backwards. So right here, say I wanted the creamy, or say the creamy potato salad was on top of your banner like that. If you just click on it and then position, you can move it back to get whatever you're looking to be in the front closer to you. And then same thing when, you know, maybe you're adding a different picture or something in there and you want to move it forward or back. If you just use that position button, that's going to give you a lot of options to modify where it is or the alignment of different things. So, so the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to plop in our recipe. So again, I just go to the Epicure website and I just copy and paste it. So it's pretty simple. So we're just going to select everything. I don't know if my double click's just not working because I'm screen sharing. And then all the same functions from like Microsoft Word work in Canva as well. So like your Control-C, your Control-V, those different things, they all work. And then the other thing too that I like to do just to clean up my recipes a little bit, my customers don't care about grams. So I typically will delete all of the other measurements. And then we're just going to make our bulleted points. And if the bullet points aren't there for some reason, you can just modify again everything right up here. All right. And then, oops. So then we have our ingredients, and then we're going to do our directions. So again, we're just going to go right back to the Epicure website and copy and paste. And we'll just plop those right in here. I try to keep it consistent with where they have it on there, so I usually have to go back and forth because my memory's not great. So, and then a lot of times too, depending on if it's pretty basic instructions, I'll kind of take some of the words out. You know, if I'm not highlighting the 8-cup multi-purpose pot, I might take that out just to shorten up the recipe to keep it more aesthetically pleasing. But it's up to you how you want to, you know, what you want it to look like. So, but I probably will try to shorten this one up a little bit. So we're just gonna shorten up some of the words. And then see, I just deleted too far, so then I lost my bullet. So then you just click it back up there. But yeah, I usually will. I mean, most people know you should wait to do stuff before, you know, it went cool. And so I take some of the basic instructions out. And then the other thing I do as well, a lot of our recipes and different things that Epicure puts out, they have like favorites and color, they'll have a U. So I try to be mindful of that because my customers think that's weird. So I like to go through and proof that and take that out. So now we're just going to, like I said, keep, I think it's because I'm screen sharing, but it seems like it's really lagged behind when I'm typing. So, but yeah, so we'll do this. Again, we're going to change some colors here. You can do multiple colors at a time by just doing shift. And this too is where, like, if I wanted to, you just hold down the shift and pick your boxes that you want. Now it's not going to work. So pick one, shift, pick the other one. And here you can also group your things together. So then when you're moving it, it's just one. Oh, I didn't group the words, but it would just be one move instead of multiple. So we're going to ungroup those. So now when you notice I did that, this one moved forward, so I want to push that backwards so that I get my words back. So we want to change these colors. So we're just going to click on the color button. And then it's up to you if you want to use the same purple, or I may want to just use like a lighter purple. So if you don't have a hex code, you can just click on the new color and just drag this around to something that you like the look of. Just for ease of time, I'm just going to make it the same color as our banners that we already have. And then we can't really see our words, so we're going to change the color there, and I'll just make it be the same as our potato salad up at the top. those are not the same color. Try that. There we go. And then, you know, down here you can either put something, you know, like I said before, if you want to do like the cook once, eat twice, good food real fast, you can do different things. You can put in a link to your page if you wanted to do that. And by doing a link, you're just going to do the little chains up here. And then when you save it, for you personally, it will work then if you want to direct them right to your page. So that's where you would do that. And then the other thing I like to do when I'm making a recipe is I like to actually feature the products that I'm using. So this one, the Better Than Bacon is already featured there, but I want to put the creamy potato salad dressing mix that we're asking them to use in the recipe. So if you go back to your uploads, you can just click on it and drag it over. And then here's where you're going to be able to crop your image so that you don't distort it. So just by dragging your sides over, that's not going to distort your image. Where if you crop it initially from the website, it's going to blow it up, and then you're going to get blurry words and whatnot within your image. So since this recipe is a little bit longer, I'm probably not going to put the other product image in there, but you can play with it to make it, you know, make it smaller. Like I said, clean up the words a little bit. If you wanted to take off the optional toppings, you know, obviously you can do that. You know, like here, the Better Than Bacon pepper to taste, I would probably take off 2 tastes. I mean, people know to put on what they like. And then the other thing that I like to do on a lot of my recipes, I put the little enjoy thing on there. Sometimes I'll do like the little fork and spoon. So if you want to add extra elements to your recipe, then you would just click over here on the elements button and you can search. So maybe you want an arrow, or so here's like the enjoy that I usually use. The fork and the spoon, you know, whatever you want to put on, you can just drag it over. And then any image, once you click on the thing, you can turn it, resize it just like you would in any program. Just grab the corner, and then we'll try to center it a little bit. And then we can just change the color, and we'll make it our purple that we're staying with. And then maybe down here, you can just say, can you not hang on my arm? It makes it hard to control the mouse. Thanks. Just to keep this one more generic, we'll just say for more recipes. Whoops. And then we'll just put in, when we click recipes, and then like I said, I'm a huge fan of just copy and paste. So I'll just maybe put that in the bottom. So there's a recipe. Does anybody have any comments or questions or?
I might have missed this. Misty, I might have missed this, but did you tell them where to get like, does Epicure have official codes somewhere? I have 3 that are like close to their color that I figured out over time, but like, do they actually have the codes somewhere? The color codes.
I've never found them like in the marketing stuff at all. I just do color match, and then if you're kind of tech savvy, you can get into the nuts and bolts of a website, which I've done just because I do that for my full-time job. But it's a lot of information, and it's a lot of coding and XML, and most people just looking at it probably aren't going to know. So like what I do, how I got my codes is on the mobile app. So if you have the app on your phone, you can color match. So I just color match to the steamer, and then I just use the colors that are close to that. So just depending on what I'm doing, a lot of times on my recipes, I use the brighter purple, the one that we're using right here. On some of my other things, like my product highlights, I will use a little bit of a darker purple. And I guess I just do that because it's my personal preference. So, but yeah, so this is our recipe. So what I'm going to do up here is I'm just going to change the name. And then Canva is really great about automatically saving all your work. But just because we're done, I'm just going to click save just to make sure. And then when you exit out of here, our recipe is done. You can download it, or you can just share it. You can email it, all the different things right there. So if you download it, it's going to give you some different options of what type of file you want to download it as. I usually just do the PNG file because it's the highest quality one. But you can do whatever you want. If you want to print it to a PDF and stick it in your host packet, whatever you want to do, it gives you a lot of great options for that too. So now that we have our recipe made, you know, like I said, I very rarely start from scratch anymore. I use templates that I've already created. So now that we're done with this, I'm just going to show you guys how simple it is to create another recipe. So I'm just going to go back to the main page of Canva and go to all my designs and refresh it to get my potato salad one to show up. So here's our potato salad. So now maybe we want to do, if we click on the 3 dots, we can make a copy, and then all of our colors, all of the things are already going to be there, and then you can just open up your copy, and we can then create another recipe card in literally a couple minutes. So again, you're going to upload, and I'm just going to delete. We're going to do baked beans. Maybe. Okay, so we'll just add our baked beans. We're going to go back to here. Layla asked if we were going to put bacon in our baked beans. Okay, well, if you can't hear me, then hey, get up, please. Hey. Okay. So now we're just going to change our font. Everything is already there. Oops. A lot of times when I create graphics, I send them to Kayla because I get her seal of approval on them for one thing, but then she can catch my spelling errors too. So, because that's the one thing I've noticed, especially if you use the app for Canva, it doesn't highlight if you have a spelling error. Whereas if you use the desktop version, a lot of times it will. So that's one other reason I like to use the desktop version. Up until recently, though, I did everything on the mobile version just because I was not home nearly as much as what I am now. So, okay, so we're just going to go through, and I just want to just show you guys this, like literally how quick it is to create a recipe once you have a template that you like.
Misty, can I ask a question quick?
Yeah.
Is it just as easy to use the app as it is the from the web page?
I would say the web page is probably easier. And the only reason I say that is just because you can see the functions a lot more. Whereas within the app, you kind of have to know where to go to find, like if you want to move something forward or backward, or to group. I still haven't mastered like how to group stuff together on the app because I can't get it to select multiple things at the same time. So I have found it to be a lot easier to use the desktop version. But then, like I said, even if you created a recipe in the desktop version, that's all going to show up then in your mobile version. So then it makes it a lot easier than if you're on the fly to, you know, like in my recipe club the other day, I had posted like a copy of like the Starbucks egg bite recipe. And some of my customers were like, oh, can you share the recipe with us? And I was like, well, crap, I don't want to just like share the recipe, you know, just like copy and paste it. So then I just went to one of my templates and then I copied and pasted it, put the photo in, and literally within a couple of minutes even on the mobile app, I had a pretty recipe because like I say, I like to put pretty stuff out there. So yeah, it just takes some playing with it. And like I said, I'm no pro by any means. So I've just done a lot of trial and error to try to get it to do what I want it to do. So. All right.
We had a couple questions. Sorry, I didn't realize that was unmuted and you probably could hear my clicking. We had a couple questions up in the comment or in the text about just what's allowed and what's not allowed. You can use, you can create your own recipes and things. And as long as you're doing things in your private Facebook group specifically, like Mistie is, you can have a lot more freedom. So meaning you can even use the word epicure on things and things like that. Where it's a no-no is if you're going to try to create a public page, a business page, and have epicure in the title and then make up all these recipes where it might look professional enough. Like I think you guys would agree, Mistie's graphics look great. We don't want it to look like the company's endorsing something, especially if you're going to use language like lost 20 pounds in the last month, like here's another recipe I've been using. That's really tricky. And I would just warn you to be careful, but can you make your own recipes and graphics and things? Absolutely. That's why we're teaching this class. So I just wanted to make sure everyone knows, don't make false claims and don't use Epicure's name in a way that they would not market their own products. If you're doing things that you're questioning, I would do them in your private Facebook group where it's no harm to anybody else.
Yeah, and I don't know, there is a Facebook group out there, and recently somebody had asked a question of like, what fonts does Epicure use? I want to be brand consistent, and you know, my comment to that thread in there is, you know, yes, you want somebody to recognize that this is Epicure, but you also want it to create your own brand, basically, because you don't want it. I think part of the reason why a lot of my customers like my recipes is because they know that I put them out there after I try them and I like them, and that's, like I said, I just like them to look pretty. So most of my stuff, like I said, I have this little enjoy thing on there, so they know that it comes from me. I'm not super concerned with making sure I have the same font that Epicure puts out, because to me that's not important. That's not what my customers care about. They trust me. They don't trust, not that they don't trust Epicure, but they trust me because I'm the one telling them how great this is. So, yeah, so I wouldn't be so worried about that. All right, so in here, we're just going to delete that, and then we're gonna add in, for here, we'll just add in, because we have more room on this recipe, so that's not what I wanted to do. So if you do what I just did, you can just hit the back arrow, and we're gonna just try to put that back in here a little bit smaller. There we go. So then here you're gonna see, again, like I said, we have all that extra white space so that we can, you can either stretch it out this way, but I just wanna crop the image because when I crop it again in Canva, we're not gonna get the distorted words on the package. So we're just going to make it a little bit smaller, and then maybe next to it, we can, you know, highlight what that product is. So we could just, you know, like I said, I'm a fan of copy and paste just because, whoops, now I screwed up. Can you guys still see my screen, or did I screw it up?
No, we can see it. It's good.
Okay. So then here's where on our left-hand menu bar, again, I'm just going to add a text box. And we're going to add, I'll just drag that over here, highlight it, and Control V. And then if you want to put the price, you can. On the recipe cards, I typically don't do the prices. I know a lot of people do, but I'll usually just highlight the recipe, and then in the post that I put with it is where I'm going to put the price. But it's totally up to you how much information you want to put on a recipe card. We'll center that to the text. Just bring that and center that underneath, maybe. So then there's, I mean, you're done. So that literally, the first one took us a little bit longer, the second one, you know, not so much. So you can just change your words. And then again, if you want to download it, whatever you want to do, you can do that. I can show you guys like some of the other templates that I've created, just to show you like some of the different elements that I use. A lot of times when I create stuff, I do use stock photos as well that Canva provides, and that's what Kayla was saying is if you don't have the professional version, you might see they have like the lines through them and it says Canva on them. Or even if you just do like a simple Google search and then use your snipping tool and grab your image that way, to get more personalized images. Like I created some things for upcoming Father's Day, so I tried to do things that would maybe look like they were more appealing to dads out there. So some of the Father's Day things that I did, again, created one template and then just build off of those ones that I created. So like these are some of the ones like I thought, you know, dad might like. And so just putting the extra elements in and then making the copy and then featuring different products. And so like for like say the dotted lines, the arrows, those are all just going to be elements that you can add in. And then a lot of the elements, like say you want like a line, it'll give you all the different types of lines you want. So maybe like these here, this is like 3 different elements on the computer. So then I group those. So if I need to move them or adjust them, it's easy to just grab one time versus grab it 3 times. And then, like I said, this image, I just try to, you know, find images that might resonate with people and then plop the product in there. And then I just do the US prices because I don't have any Canadian customers. But you sure could just do whatever you wanted to do. So, does anybody have any questions or anything? I think that was pretty much all the things I was going to cover.
Misty, have you used the video feature in Canva?
I have used it a little bit just to make like animated posts, but I haven't used it so much for like what you might call like a video, I guess. But yeah, like to do like a short, like 5 to 8 seconds where maybe like something flies in or something. Yeah, I mean, I've done that. I'm not a pro at it though, so.
Just curious. So it seems like it has a lot of features. And when I first was looking at it, I was a little bit like, oh gosh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to use this, but this was very, very helpful.
Stop hitting with it.
Yeah, Misty, I thought it was super helpful too, because I think the biggest thing is, Misty, what made you get on Canva and start?
What?
What made you get on Canva originally and start with it?
I guess for me is, I don't know, it's maybe because I'm kind of picky. I don't know. And I just like to create my own stuff. For me, it's a good outlet. Like if I need a break from something, I enjoy going in and making different things. But, you know, one of the other things too is I do it because I enjoy it. But I wouldn't necessarily say it's like a huge income producing activity either. So I wouldn't spend a ton of time on it. But like I said, sometimes like if I'm laying in bed and can't sleep or something, I'll just go grab a recipe that I like and create something. You know, I like to do things in my private group for, you know, like it was Nurses Speak. So I'll create a little graphic for that to offer, you know, a deal in my private group. There's no more. But I wouldn't say that I get a huge amount of sales off of the stuff that I create, but I just enjoy it. So.
I also wanted to
think,
oh, go ahead, Misty.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, and I think my customers appreciate looking at stuff too, like I said, that they know that came from me. And, you know, like to be silly, like, I don't know, some of these you can see are a goofy picture of me with my Epicure pin and, you know, that I'm booking cooking classes or, you know, looking at my Facebook page to see, like in the banner, it's me and my family and Epicure versus just maybe a Canon photo. Sometimes I think people just enjoy looking at that a little bit more.
Yeah, and I was going to say a couple of things. So some of you, I think Mariah, you just commented, this is an outlet. Like people asked me 2 years ago in the old opportunity why I was making graphics. It's not that Epicure doesn't have them. I do think my people though, like my header photo in my Facebook group has my family on it. Like you're supporting me when you shop my business. And I just want that to be really apparent. It's not the Kayla show, but it is something I pour my heart and soul into. So I like having it branded a little bit towards me and I change it seasonally. I also think the biggest thing, Misty, if you're not reading the comments, you're getting all kinds of great comments, so make sure you read them. But one of the things for all of you that are new, like people ask me, how did you do that April showers, bring May flowers? I just came in here and played 3 years ago or 4 year ago. And I just, every year it gets a little bit prettier, right? This year I really liked my graphic. I thought it was great. But every one I've done has worked. The point is that's just a mystery hostess that I made pretty and people love it. People love the branding and not just, I'm doing a mystery hostess. That's really what it is. Everyone knows that. But I came up with a theme here in Canva and an idea. So it's a really fun way to start to like create something that you're really excited about, because I think when we're excited about it, you'll go out and you'll advertise your mystery hostess or you'll market your business like Misty said better. And I just wanted to back Misty up on one thing. She said she doesn't put the prices on. You'll notice I don't either, because that is just asking to have to rework something or to accidentally use an old graphic that has the wrong price. You guys, we live in 2020, prices will go up over time. They have to, or we don't stay in business. Or we discontinue products. And some of the products on that graphic might still be there. Like, I'm just careful what I'm doing. So just pay attention as you're making them and think about like the work smarter, not harder later. Do you really want to have to redo it is something I would definitely say. But Missy, this was great. Your graphics look awesome. And our recipes are always going to be more impactful than someone else's stuff that they're cooking in their kitchen for sure. That's why we say like real pictures always sell more because people believe you're using it. Any other questions? Go ahead, Misty.
I was going to say the other thing too, you know, you see a lot of times people will like watermark their images with their, and I don't do that because for me, part of the fun is when I see other people share my graphics, like, I don't know, I just think that's kind of fun. So I mean, there are certain ones like, obviously, like nobody's going to share this one because it's me being weird, but you know, like I'm not going to put on a recipe my information because you guys can share it too. Like, I don't care. So. All right. Well, I don't know. Does anybody have anything else? I can't see any of the comments when I'm screen sharing, so.
Oh, end it once, Misty. End the screen share. Did you?
Okay.
Peggy said thank you so much. Angela said thank you so much. Mariah, great comments. Cassie. Look at everyone's faces. This is so fun. So, well, thank you all so much for being on. Misty, thank you for leading. This is not a strength of mine, teaching someone tactical stuff like this. This isn't my jam, but you're awesome at it. And if you guys feel like Misty, if you get a ton of questions after this, because I know Misty is going to tell you if you want to message her, you can message her. She'll totally help you. But if you get a ton of questions, Misty, and you want to do a secondary training, I'm not opposed to that at all. I know you're moving, so you can figure that out in your schedule, what's good for you. But a reminder to all of you that were on here, you're obviously in tune with social media. Don't forget, even if you start today, we're doing a social media challenge right now using stories and using your main Facebook and Instagram wall. And I'm going to tease you this afternoon because I have the Michael Kors bag that I'm giving away, and I'm giving away some new products. And all you have to do is participate. It's the honor system. I'm not checking all your stories. The point is to force you to get on a training like this with Misty and learn how to make a graphic and to learn how to make an Instagram story or Facebook story. So I can't say it enough. If you're not participating, get out there and put yourself out there. That's the only way you're going to get started. And I'm sure Misty's glad she started when she did. She's that much further ahead now. And in a year, think about where she'll be or where your businesses could be. That's the goal of this. So awesome. Okay, I'm going to end the recording. And I'm going to end our meeting because I have a cooking class here in a bit. But I will try to get this quickly uploading so that as soon as my class is over, I can share the recording with everyone. Does that sound good? Awesome. Thank you again, Misty. Love you, friends. See you soon. Bye, everybody.